Level 1. Tag along. You're not in the gang, not really, but you're close enough to feel like you are. You walk 3 steps behind the older boys. You keep your mouth shut. You watch everything. Who talks to who owes what, who gets nervous when a cop walks by. The men don't acknowledge you. That's fine. You're not here to be noticed. You're here to be seen with them. Nobody touches the kid who walks with the blinders. One of the older lads looks back at you. You still here? You nod. Good. That's all you get, but it's enough. It means they know your face. It means when things go wrong, you might be worth saving. You don't plan anything. You don't do anything. You just prove, day after day, that you won't fold. Someday they'll give you a job. Someday you'll matter. For now, you just follow. Level 2. Lookout. You've got one job, and you'd better not mess it up. You stand at the corner, or just outside the pub door. Wherever trouble shows up first, that's where they put you. Your eyes never stop moving. You're watching for uniforms, for unfamiliar faces, for anyone who walks a little too slow and looks a little too interested. A police whistle in the distance. Your heart jumps. But it's not coming this way. You exhale. The boys inside are counting money, making deals, doing things you're not supposed to know about. Your job is to make sure they have time to scatter if it goes bad. One whistle from you, that's the signal. You've never had to use it, and that's a good thing. It means you're doing your job right. Hours pass, your feet ache, and it's freezing outside. But you don't move, and you don't complain. Because if something happens and you're not paying attention, you're done. And not just with the gang. Done. Level 3. Runner. Notes, cash, small packages. You move them fast and you don't ask what's inside. The less you know, the better. If you get caught, you can't give up what you don't know. That's why they picked you. You're quick and you know every shortcut and every back alley. You're the layer between the top and the street. If the cops catch you, the chain breaks here. You take the fall, and the bosses stay clean. A man you've never seen hands you a folded paper. The garrison, back room. Don't run and don't look rushed. You take it and you walk at a steady, natural pace. Just another kid on the street. Someone mentions a crew from the south side has been asking questions, new faces poking around and testing boundaries. That's not your concern. Not yet. You deliver the note. The man in the back room doesn't look at you. He doesn't thank you. That's how you know you did it right. Level 4. Petty thief. You hunt. Pockets, purses, an open window on a house where nobody's home. You take what you can get. The money isn't much, but it adds up. And every pound you bring in proves you're useful. You're in a pub near the mill. It's crowded, loud, which means it's perfect. A man at the bar has had too much to drink. His coat hangs loose. You brush past. Your fingers find the pocket, get the coins, and you keep walking. He doesn't notice. Nobody notices. And that's the skill. Not just taking things without anyone knowing. Outside, you hear 2 men talking. Something about the Southside crew again. They robbed a bookie across the river. They took his whole week's profit. You frown. These guys are getting closer to your territory. But you've got coins in your pocket and a cut to deliver. So you keep moving. Level 5. Street robber. Being subtle is over. Now you take what you want, and they know you're taking it. You step out of the shadow. You look them in the eye. Give it here. Most of them do. They've heard what happens to people who don't. A shopkeeper 2 streets over hasn't paid his weekly. You visit him with another lad from the crew. He sees you coming, and his face goes white. I'll have it tomorrow, I swear. You don't say anything. You just look at him. He finds the money. It's funny how that works. Walking back, you pass a pub where some of the boys are arguing. The Southside crew hit another spot. Closer this time, 3 streets over. They're not just testing anymore. They're moving in. One of the enforcers spits on the ground. Let them come. You nod, but you notice the older men aren't smiling. There's talk of a meeting. Something big. The top man is gathering people. You're not invited, not yet, but you can feel the tension in the air. Something's coming. Level 6. Hard man. When someone doesn't pay, you make them pay. When someone talks too much, you shut them up. When rivals test the edges of your territory, you push back hard enough that they don't try again. You've got scars, but you've given more. Your knuckles are calloused. Your nose has been broken twice. You walk into a room and conversations stop. Tonight, it's the South Side problem. You're in a back room with 4 other men. The operator is explaining what happened. The South Side crew didn't just rob the bookie. They beat him bloody and told him he works for them now. Find the ones who did it, someone says. Make sure they're found. You know what that means. Violence keeps this whole thing running. Respect, territory, money, none of it holds without men who can back it up. You've done this before. Rivals who thought they could muscle in. Debtors who thought they could disappear. Each time, you handled it. And each time, the message spread. Don't cross the Peaky Blinders. But this feels different. The South Side crew isn't a couple of opportunists. They're organized. They've got numbers. They've got their own hard men. You crack your knuckles. Time to work. But as you leave, you catch a look between the operator and the top man. Something in their eyes you haven't seen before. Worry. Level 7. Operator. You run the systems that keep the money flowing. Illegal betting, protection arrangements, moving stolen goods through people who know how to make things disappear. You know what comes in, you know what goes out, you know who's skimming and who's loyal. Numbers don't lie, and you read them better than anyone. Today you're counting last week's take from the betting shop. Good numbers. The racehorses have been kind. Then a runner bursts in. They hit a shop, broad daylight, walked in, cleaned it out, walked out. You set down your pencil. That shop is yours. Has been for years. They're here. You start calculating. How much can you lose before the whole thing collapses? Which operations are vulnerable? Which men can you trust if things get bloody? You send for the hard men. You send word to the top man. This is bigger than one robbery. The South Side crew has committed an act of war. Level 8. Top man. Every eye in the room is waiting for you to speak. You're in the back of the garrison, your pub, your territory. The operator sits across from you. The hard men line the walls. The whole operation, everyone who matters, packed into one room. You're not a king. You don't sit on a throne. You're just the man who settles disputes, picks targets, controls the takings, and decides who your crew stands with and against. In a world of loose alliances and shifting loyalties, that's power. The South Side crew has been pushing for weeks. Small moves at first, now they've crossed the line. The shop